What if I told you one virus has spread across every continent, infected hundreds of species, caused the largest bird flu outbreak in history, and is one of the biggest pandemic threats scientists are watching today? This is H5N1 clade 2.3.4.4b. But what is H5N1? H5N1 is a subtype of influenza A virus, commonly known as bird flu or avian influenza. The version currently making headlines is called clade 2.3.4.4b. Unlike previous H5N1 outbreaks that eventually faded, this clade has become established in wild birds around the world. Migratory birds now carry it across countries and continents, allowing it to persist year after year. This concurrent outbreak is considered the largest and most widespread outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza ever recorded. Since 2020, the virus has spread across Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica, only recently reaching all 7 continents. Millions of domestic birds have died or been culled to control outbreaks, while wild bird populations have suffered major losses in many regions, such as Utah, with a recent 1.2 million hens murdered. With this, it is evident that scientists have never before seen an H5N1 outbreak spread for so widely and for so long. But what animals can it really infect? Well, despite the name, this virus doesn't just infect birds. It has also infected an unusually large amount of mammal species, including foxes, bears, cats, dogs, seals, sea lions, otters, mink, tigers, leopards, dolphins, cattle, and far many more. This extremely broad and still evolving host range is one of the reasons researchers monitor it so closely. But then, how does it spread? In birds, the virus spreads through saliva, nasal secretions, and droppings. Water, food, soil, and farming equipment can become contaminated. Humans are usually infected after close contact with infected birds or contaminated environments. Right now, we are void of any evidence that H5N1 can sustain ongoing human-to-human transmission, which is why it has not yet become a pandemic. So how dangerous is it currently in 2026? Although the risk to the general public remains low to moderate, H5N1 is still considered one of the world's most important viruses to monitor by all virologists. But why is this the case? It's because it's spreading more widely in animals than any previous H5N1 outbreak. It has reached an unprecedented geographic range, and it continues to infect new species as it evolves and mutates. And every new infection gives the virus another opportunity to evolve. Now, this doesn't mean a pandemic is inevitable, but it does explain why scientists pay such close attention to it. Influenza has actually done this before. Influenza viruses have caused multiple pandemics throughout history. The 1918 influenza pandemic caused tens of millions of deaths worldwide. Later pandemics occurred in 1957, 1968 and 2009, each arising after influenza viruses acquired new genetic combinations or adaptations, some even recognizable, such as the Spanish flu or swine flu. These historical events are one reason researchers take any emerging influenza virus seriously. So why are scientists really worried? Well, here's the important part. H5N1 can already infect humans occasionally. It can already infect many mammals, it can already replicate in human cells, but it lacks one crucial feature: efficient, sustained spread between people. Without that ability, it cannot drive a global human pandemic. But here is the potential it holds. This is why H5N1 attracts so much attention from other virologists. Truthfully, nobody knows whether it will ever become capable of causing a human pandemic. It may never do so, but scientists closely monitor it because it already has several characteristics that make it a virus worth watching. For one, it infects many species, circulates wildly in wild birds, and occasionally infects humans. Like all influenza viruses, H5N1 is considered an RNA virus. RNA viruses generally evolve more rapidly than DNA viruses because the enzymes that copy their genetic material make more mistakes. Each time H5N1 infects a bird or even a mammal, it creates huge numbers of copies of itself, essentially considering a process called reassortment. These copies can contain random mutations leading to stuff like sustained human-to-human transmission. Most mutations have no effect. Many actually make the virus weaker. Only a very small number could potentially improve its ability to survive, infect new hosts, or spread more efficiently. Influenza viruses also have another important feature. Their genome is split into 8 separate RNA segments. If 2 different influenza viruses infect the same cell at the same time, those segments can mix in a process called reassortment, potentially creating a new combination of genes. This is one of the ways past influenza panics have emerged and why scientists are so afraid of influenza type A infecting pigs at the moment. That doesn't necessarily mean every reassortment event produces a dangerous virus. Far from it actually, most do not at all. But because influenza has this ability, scientists pay close attention whenever H5N1 infects mammals, especially animals like pigs that can be infected by different influenza viruses all at once. The more opportunities the virus has to replicate in animals, the more opportunities it has to evolve. That is why researchers around the world continue to monitor H5N1 so closely, not because a pandemic is considered inevitable, but because early detection of important changes give public health agencies more time to respond if the risk ever increases. So how would the pandemic actually spread? If H5N1 ever evolved efficient human-to-human transmission, scientists expect it would spread similarly to seasonal influenza, so symptoms such as coughing, sneezing, talking, close face-to-face contact, possibly through contaminated hands, touching the nose, mouth or eyes. At present, this kind of sustained spread has not been observed. So what are the scientists doing? Researchers worldwide are sequencing thousands of viral genomes, monitoring outbreaks in birds and mammals, studying new mutations, testing vaccines, evaluating antiviral medicines, looking for any signs that the virus is adapting to humans. The goal is to detect important changes as early as possible to contain any potential pandemic crises. Here are my final thoughts on H5N1. H5N1 clade 2.3.4.4b is one of the most closely watched viruses on Earth, not because it's already causing a human pandemic, but because of its unprecedented spread in animals, its ability to affect many different species, and the possibility that over time it could evolve further. Scientists don't assume that it will happen, but they watch carefully, so that if the risk changes, the world has the best possible chance to respond quickly. Thank you for watching.